Hey, welcome back! Frank's channel. How you guys all doing? Hey, just thought I'd come up here real quick, kind of give you an update. Let's see, Sunday, December 1st? Yeah, I thought I wouldn't be saying these dates. You'll see December 2nd on Monday. So, yeah, boring stuff. You know, I call it in my home stretch for December working. And then, yeah, so I had it up, you know. I kind of use Sunday as like my prep day for the week. So I get all my food ready to go. So then, when in the morning I just, just grab it and go. Everything's kind of ready to go. So I kind of make it all, a week in advance, or maybe not quite a week in advance, but I kind of batch make my stuff. So it pretty much lasts about a week though. So with that said, then had a couple of things I had to do this weekend. A little bit of here, a little bit of there, or, still got to kind of write down kind of what it is I kind of think I want to do for the time off that I got coming up. So what I did end up doing, the reason why I wanted to come on here real quick was I ended up watching a movie that was actually, it's called Reagan. I don't know if you guys remember. Who, what? No, he was one of our presidents, Ronald Reagan. He was elected in November 1980. He's, obviously started in January 20, 1981. And then he was elected twice. His re-election in 84 was a monster. Basically swept every state, I think. I think Minnesota and, I don't know, I think maybe one of the little, either Connecticut or I can't remember, but yeah, it's like the biggest landslide victory since George Washington. And that's kind of a joke if you guys. George Washington died. Oh wait, no, there was an election for that. Oh yeah, that. Oh yeah. Anyway, yeah, that's actually that was crazy back how they did election. Anyway, with that said, yeah, kind of the message of the video, I guess, would be is like inspiration. Find things that inspire you. For me, it's kind of been more people. Obviously, like my father was a big inspiration. I mean, he still is. And sometimes actually for good and bad, right? I have some things that I remember that it's like, all right, that's kind of like what not to do type of thing. But there was a lot of things that my dad, if anything, he should have, did a little more, right? Stood up for himself type of thing. But, my dad wasn't physically afraid of anything. No, not a thing, man. But, as I get older, I kind of understand it now, man. I think he just wanted to, kind of like leave me alone, right? Just leave me alone. Especially being a combat veteran. But, as I was watching, Reagan, I was like, man, I remember this, right? I kind of remember going back as a kid, and I call it, I don't know, I hope this ain't true, right? But I kind of call the 80s peak America, because, like, I remember, little kid, I was probably like, I don't know, maybe 4, right? Like all that Iran stuff, and we had hostages, and man, it felt like, like even as a little kid, it felt like we were like, like being an American was like crappy. I mean, it's kind of like what went down the last couple of years, right? Trump's he's another inspiration. I would have never thought that. If you guys would have believed me, like 10 years ago, I would have laughed. And when you said Trump would be president, I'd be like, what? Like, he's like just the big, money guy. Like, hey, people can change. But anyway, yeah, I remember that era. It flooded back in that movie, and just kind of how, we started like, being more, obviously it wasn't 100% everybody agreed with it, but man, he came in and he wasn't going to take no, what. He was going to take no push the door, right? And yeah, it just, everyone started feeling better about being an American. The economy was crapper, man. I tell you, that was another thing, man. I lived in a blue-collar area, but, man, so many people got wrecked. There was inflation, major unemployment. And yeah, but by the time '84 kind of rolled around, man, things were starting to improve. And obviously we had the specter of nuclear war and the Cold War, right? And you know, I'm going to give him credit for ending the Cold War, right? And to be honest, it was probably the hardest war, right? He didn't shoot any shots really, but again, I looked at people because that's what I want to be, right? I want to be a leader, right? And one thing that especially I've been leading to is that when you're a leader, there's gonna be people that just they're gonna hate you, right? It's like even like some of your best people that are around you, they're not gonna get it. You're gonna bump heads, and I don't know. I'm fine with that, right? Myself, right? But a lot of people nowadays, man, it's like just a little bit of confrontation, and I get it. Sometimes some people just go like. I don't want to blame women here, but you know what I mean. Like, some woman just gets it in her thing, and you're just like, yeah, I'm out of here, right? Because it's just like, as a guy, right, you can go to jail even though she's lying, right? So, but anyway, I'm not meant to hear it. I'm not bashing on anyone here, but you get the point. I'm painting a broad picture of just kind of like how a lot of people are weak, right? But yeah, find someone or something, right, or some project, right? Some people they just go out in nature, or and I'll call it God, kind of inspires them, right? Or when you read a certain book, right? I mean, it doesn't even have to be necessarily like a real thing. I mean, stories were meant to teach us history, but they were also meant to inspire us, right? And I don't know. I'm not here to argue. Oh well, this was wrong and this was right. Not, meaning like, hey, it's the this wasn't accurate, right? And it's the it's the meat of the story, right? Or called the hero's journey, right? It's like isn't it to like hey, to go through adversity, rise the occasion, right? You take your lumps and you're helping people and you're trying to uplift everyone and you're trying to battle against the forces of darkness, if you will, right? However that is in your life. So I would encourage you to find that, right? I find great inspirations in some of our leaders, right? And hey, I'm done. I'm done with the being scared. I don't care if my neighbors think, oh my gosh, he's waving an American flag. He's a whatever this or what. I'm done with that. I'm so done with it. I don't care, man. I never fit in, guys, right? Maybe you're seeing this and maybe you don't fit in. You know what? Embrace that. I did that, and to be honest, I there was a brief moment in time where I was shameful of that, and now I'm no. Actually, to be honest, now America was a bunch of rebels, right? I always say this jokingly, right? The founding fathers were domestic terrorists. They were, England labeled them such, right? Hey, but hey, that's kind of what I'm saying, right? Like, just, this is kind of like the video that covers all my videos, right? like don't care what people think, right? Kind of stand up for what's right. Who cares if no one's there, right? Like you can even inspire your own self, right? But yeah, I just wanted to get on here real quick. And if you guys haven't seen it, I just rented it on Amazon. I had some, whatever, you got Amazon Prime and you buy stuff and when they're shipping, right? Like, I don't need this stuff right away. Like, overnight shipping or like, oh, hey, we can give it to you in 3 hours. I'm like, 3? Like, what? That's crazy. I remember, like, getting stuff from Amazon and if it took, like, if I got it within a week, I was like, hey... now it's like, if it doesn't come in 2 days, people are like, like putting an APB out, Amber Alert, oh, look out for my delivery. It's like, what's in it? Cat food. It's like, nothing in it is important, right? It's just, I don't know. I think it's funny. But yeah, so you get like, credit, right? So I had so much credit, right? So I was able to rent, I think it's like a $10 rental, right? I got to rent it for like $2, right? And it was actually funny because I don't know how they figured this out because I went to another movie that was like maybe $4 to rent and I would still have to pay $2. So I'm like, well, I'll rent the one that would normally cost me $10, right? I wanted to see that movie anyway. So yeah, hopefully you guys are doing well. Again, I'm preparing for the next week here. From a market standpoint, we're still keeping our eyes out. It looks like, Bitcoin's kind of recovering a little bit. If you guys don't know, the update is that now that I just have it automated. This is actually is great. Like I call all the site out of mine, but I don't have to, just pull the trigger on myself all the time. Maybe that's a bad pun or bad analogy there. But yeah, I'm just like, hey, you know what? Now that I was trying to be maybe too cheap, right? But yeah, so I have it buy these certain coins. So I tell it a certain dollar amount, right? And I tell the coins, and I just tell it to buy it every day. Now, again, the monetary amount ain't big, right? But if I don't have to pay the fee, well, then that's fine, right? I mean, that's actually better dollar averaging cost-wise. Although crypto can go way, like, in one day, right? 124-hour period, right? So anyway, hopefully you guys are all doing well. I don't know what do you guys want for Christmas? Yeah, that's another thing. I don't know. Maybe we'll talk about Christmas, man. Now that December's here, you guys got Advent. Oh man, I'm trying to remember. My mom used to buy these Advent. I think they have them now, but man, I'm telling you, the Advent calendars, the Advent calendars from the '80s, man, they were awesome. At least I thought they were awesome. But yeah, they'd have like, there was one where like it had like chocolate, right? Like little ones, right? And the chocolate was actually really good. I don't know what it was. It was just like, I don't know. It wasn't any name brand. I don't know if they still have this stuff or not. They probably got something similar, but yeah. So well, you guys haven't been talking on the channel. There's nothing. Come on, put something, please. Pretty please. Just, like, Frank, you're too loud. Check. You talk too long. Check. Okay, what do you want me to do about it, right? Like, that's another thing. You comment. I'm fine with a comment, right? Actually, the better thing. This is okay. So sorry to go to the. It's okay to complain, but if you don't suggest a solution, right? Like, okay, we don't like this, and here's a potential solution, right? Then why complain? At least that's what I think now. I learned that, like, I think early in my my engineering career, right? But I kind of like take that too, right? You just don't want. Obviously, sometimes you just want to rant, right? But yeah, come on, come on. If not, then we're just gonna start, like looking at a video. Can you anyone listening? I don't know if you guys listening. How long is it? I can't tell. I got my camera. I'm looking at the camera, but the window I can't really see it. I think it's around 13 minutes or something like that. But see, this is how like so noob I am to this, right? Because it'd be really cool if like I could record what I'm doing on this. Like you guys could see me here, right? And then record my screen. Like it probably isn't that hard, but like help an old guy out, all right? I'm an old dog. You can't, whatever. Yeah, all right. We don't necessarily learn new tricks, it's just, well, it's a new trick, but it might take us a while to learn the trick. So, anyway, with that said, good night. I'll see you tomorrow. All right? Bye.